Hey y'all, before we get started here, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? I'd appreciate that. Hey, what's going on y'all? Okay, so today we're gonna do something a little different. I kind of wanted to do a kind of my all-time favorite winter, or not winter, fall, almost winter. Jerkbait's actually pretty much my go-to winter bait, but anyway, we're doing the spinnerbait today. It's hard to beat a spinnerbait in the fall time. That's my favorite. A lot of people prefer lipless, which is also a good choice, but especially like a craw colored lipless. Anything kind of like red, orangish, but anyway, I am going to go over some tips with the good old spinnerbait and sit back and enjoy. All right, also, this spinnerbait's kind of beat up. It's a War Eagle spinnerbait. Highly recommend that company. Not sponsored or anything, obviously, but really good company. This one has the built-in trailer. See how you can sort of see the skirt right here, and then going down further right here, it looks like a trailer coming off with a natural skirt. That's a very cool skirt. This one is obviously wore out because look at that. Caught a lot of fish on this one. The number one and probably the best tip I can give you, see how I have two hooks right there? Most spinnerbaits just have that one hook. This, I put a trailer. This is called a trailer hook. Put the trailer hook on it. That is going to catch you a lot of fish. What happens is, a lot of the time, the bass will come up and they'll hit the spinnerbait, and they will just miss that front main lure, or the front main hook. And a lot of the time, that trailer hook is actually what catches them. Quite a few times I'll catch them on nothing but the trailer hook. But for a fall time bait, definitely the spinnerbait is a killer choice. The bass are feeding up. They're getting ready for winter, trying to put on some pounds. They're eating bait fish a lot. And the spinnerbait does a very good job of imitating the bait fish, school of bait fish. You can catch smaller bass, you can catch bigger bass. It's really good, I almost said universal. Really versatile bait. Try to work the weed edge as much as possible right here. Alright, so spinnerbait is one of those lures that you can work at various depths. You can let it sink down to the bottom. Then you can work it at various speeds as well. So you can let it slow roll, which is just getting it to the bottom and then, barely cranking it and getting the blades going. Or you can burn it in. You can actually almost, some of them, you can fish almost like a buzzbait, keep it towards the top more. Basically, it's a search bait, kinda. It's great for throw, find fish, and then from there, figure out what the fish are really eating. It's great to throw in the wind. It's kinda windy out as usual. And oh, I got a bump. Try that again. Pretty sure that was a bump. Anyway, it's great to throw in the wind whenever those fish are getting pushed up in to different spots. Throw a spinnerbait. Looks like the bait fish that are getting pushed up in. They have different blade colors. This particular one is a silver and gold. I like the mixture of the two. There's one. Little guy. little guy. And see that? Trailer hook. On the trailer hook. A little bass. Alright, so that one, what I was doing was bringing it right along the weeds, just along the weed edge there. Even though I'm fishing from shore, you still want to try to fish that weed edge. And he hit right when I got up next to the weeds. Keep moving. Alright, so check this out. Y'all have seen me fish this pond 100 times at least. There's the fountain. We started, so we've covered all the way from here, all the way down to that little mouth of that inlet down there. All the way down there. And it's only been about 20 minutes. Just working that bank. Think of all that water that we've eliminated. If I was actually fishing and not just doing a tutorial video, I would probably have my other rod with me, and I'd probably be pitching some soft plastics or maybe a lipless right there. So another type of structure that people like fishing spinnerbaits around are, well, docks obviously, but aside from docks, people really enjoy fishing it around timber. Very good lure for fishing around different kinds of hardwood. It really deflects, since you have that arm sticking out there. It deflects off of the wood, and rocks too. Same thing with rocks, but it'll actually deflect off of that, and you actually get hits usually after bumping into stuff like that. A little thud, and then you'll get a hit. It's like boop. It's a little tiny bump off of something. I remember one of my best days with a spinnerbait was fishing underneath a bridge. And what I kept doing was they were stacked right up along the bridge pylons, and I was hitting the pylons with the spinnerbait and then just letting it fall straight down beside the pylon. And then I would count to 5. I'd count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and count all the way to 5 Mississippi. And then just about every single cast I was getting anywhere from like 2 to 4 pound bass off of this bridge pylon. It's crazy. It's a good day. Very good day. Alright, so the wind died down somewhat, but I'm going to show you a little trick. It can be used with a lot of different lures, but especially when you're throwing a spinnerbait, because most of the time you're going to be throwing this when it's real windy out. So bring your cast back just like you normally would, like this. But when you do it, sort of go like that. See how I let the lure fling in like a circle, and then when I bring it back down, that's when I let go and I keep it down low. That keeps the wind from catching the lure so bad. So just like this. That way you can sort of keep it under the wind. Works with a lot of different lures, but some lures you're just not going to be throwing when it's real windy out, like a square bill. On. See if that gator comes over here or not. There's a little one, chunky guy, been eating up. Again, in the weeds. In the weeds. Yeah, so they're deep in the weeds. Today actually probably would have been a great day for topwater, for throwing a frog. Maybe here when it starts to get a little darker, but this is getting the job done. So basically I'm doing my roll, just a roll and then under sort of like a sidearm cast. See that gator right there? He's hiding in the weeds right there. Anyway, I'm basically doing that and then just pitching up alongside of those weeds. There's one. Go back in the water. Oh, he's so close. There he goes. He's trying. He made it. Alright, so since I do so much bank fishing, I've come up with this technique for fishing a weed edge, which is difficult, as y'all know, when you're fishing from the bank, because you usually end up getting a mess of weeds. You notice I don't get very many. That is because I need new spinnerbait badly. Anyway, that is because, okay, so the weed edge is right there. I cannot effectively on this side right here until I get down just a little bit. I can't fish this weed edge at an angle. I'd prefer to pull the spinnerbait going this way across the whole thing. Can't do it. So cast out, let it sink just a little bit. I've only been counting 1 Mississippi. Start bringing it back in. Keep it at the same, see I'm reeling nice and steady. Then when I get to the weed edge, start lifting your rod tip up. And then you can slow that bait down. So you're still keeping the blades going. Doesn't matter what kind of lure it is, you can still keep the action going on it. But it sort of prolongs pulling it up over that weed edge. Pulling it. Alright, so I'm going to start lifting my rod tip up a little bit. And then most of the time you get hit right there. Right at the weeds. Alright, so pulling it. I'm going to start lifting my rod tip up right now. And it gets it up over the weeds. You don't get weeds on your lure, and you give the fish, I don't know, 2 more split seconds to hit your lure. Alright y'all, so we have almost covered the entire little lake right here. Caught 3 fish, and we've done that all in less than an hour. So that just speaks volumes to what the good old spinnerbait can do. And I know your next question is probably going to be like, why don't you use the spinnerbait all the time then? Fish are like us. They get hot and they get cold. When it is hot, they don't want to do anything. And when it's cold, really, really cold, they don't want to do anything. They're just like us. So when it's real hot or real cold, they usually do not want to hit a spinnerbait. It's too much effort. Right now, water's nice. They're feeding up. Usually on bait fish. Perfect time to throw a spinnerbait. There's one. That's a good one. Okay, well, not as good as I thought it was. Better. Or not. It's a little guy. Skinny. Skinny little guy. Get the weeds off you, buddy. Skinny, you need to eat up for the winter. Alright, so what I was about to say before he hit was, Okay, he destroyed this thing for a little one. This bait, as good as it is for covering a lot of water very quickly, this bait is really good if you can find some fish, like a school of bass that are busting up on bait fish. You can toss this in there and you can either, fish it towards the top of the bait fish, or you can actually fish it up under the bait fish. Sometimes those bass are just coming up, and it doesn't have to be bass either. I've caught some pretty big crappie off of this, black crappie. But you can fish it up towards the top, and it does really, really well, or you can fish it under the school of bait fish. That's nice. That one hit it on the drop. Okay, easy release. Alright, bud. Chunky. That's a better bass. Ooh. Got him with the treble and the trailer. The trailer is way back in there. The trailer was eaten. It's a better bass. Alright, so there you go, y'all. The spinnerbait. Now this one's a double willow leaf. You can get one with a single willow leaf. You can get different size willow leaves. You can get Colorado, which is the more oval shaped one. You can get an Indiana blade. There are all kinds of different ones, different combinations of blades, different kinds of blades. Painted blades, metal blades. It is hot out here. Whew. Anyway, and I came straight from work, so I'm wearing pants and a dress shirt. Anyway, the rest of the spinnerbait is pretty straight up. You have an arm that goes up to a tie point, comes down to a lead head, and then it's kind of like a basic jig body. But anyway, lead head goes down through. You have a place to put your skirt. Hook. I do a trailer hook. I would highly recommend doing a trailer hook. But yeah, versatile lure. We went around that whole thing in an hour and 10 minutes. I just caught those fish in an hour and 10 minutes. Wasn't planning on catching fish. I thought we'd catch like maybe one or two. If I stayed till dark, I'd probably catch some big ones, but definitely catch more, possibly big ones. But anyway, I need to get home. I have stuff to do at home, like feed the children and other stuff. But anyway, spinnerbait. Go grab a couple. You will be addicted, and just get out there and start throwing it. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.